At this point, I was in bed a lot trying to safely lower myself off alcohol by drinking a little less each day. That only worked for so long before I ended up getting more booze just to feel normal again. To get rid of the shakes and the hallucinations. My hands trembled so badly that it took a good half-hour just to open a bottle of whiskey. Simple tasks felt like obstacles I wasn't equipped to handle. The landlord owned the property where the store downstairs was, so I had a feeling he knew exactly what was going on with me. One day I didn't clean my room. It was filled with empty liquor bottles and beer cans stacked wherever there was space. I left for the day to run an errand. And without any notice, the maintenance man opened my door to paint it. Something told me that once they saw what was inside, next time they wouldn't knock or announce themselves, they'd just come in. Already convinced of who I was. After that, I was constantly looking down the hallway to make sure the maintenance man wasn't around whenever I left my room. He was a grumpy guy, and something told me my presence didn't help his mood at all. Anxiety followed me everywhere, even in places that should have felt neutral or safe. He was an old Vietnam vet who lived in the building. One thing was clear: he didn't like overweight people. Every time he saw me, he gave unsolicited advice about exercises I should do to improve my mobility. It wasn't concern, it was judgment disguised as help. I'd nod, say nothing, and keep moving, already exhausted before the day even started. As I kept trying and failing to get myself off liquor, with next to no results, the phone would ring about once a week with a familiar voice. From the sound of it, my ex-girlfriend from the Midwest wasn't doing much better either. She told me she had always suspected what I was up to when we were together. At the same time, she sounded like I should have suspicions of what was going on where she was now. The conversations went in circles, half accusations, half confessions, never landing anywhere solid. Looking back, it was never meant to be. Neither one of us was in a place in our lives where we could offer stability, honesty, or even basic presence, let alone a relationship. We were two people treading water, reaching for each other while both of us were still sinking. And deep down, I think we both knew that. It was almost like we were babysitting each other over the phone. We both wanted the same things: normalcy, happiness, predictability, accountability, but neither of us was anywhere close to having them. The closest thing she had to stability was an old cat that kept her company. What I had was a downward spiral I was desperately trying to stop, even as it kept pulling me further in. At that point, I hadn't seen my son in a while. I sold my car to pay rent and keep myself afloat, trading what little independence I had left for a few more weeks of survival. Each day felt heavier than the last. My depression wasn't just lingering in the background anymore, it was pressing down on me, shaping my thoughts, dictating my energy, and narrowing my world to the size of my room. Eventually, I started making calls to places run by the county, trying to figure out where I could get help. But when you're not in the right headspace, when your brain is distorted by fear, shame, and exhaustion, it's easy to get lost. One phone call led to another, and another after that. I kept getting passed around, bounced between departments, told the same two numbers over and over again, as if they were the answer to everything. It felt like chasing my own tail. I'd explain my situation, summon whatever clarity I had left, only to hear, "Call this number," followed by, "They should be able to help you." Then I'd call that number and be told, almost word for word, to call the first one again. No one sounded cruel. No one sounded particularly helpful either. Just neutral voices reading from invisible scripts, unaware that on the other end of the line was someone barely holding it together. Every call drained me a little more. I'd hang up the phone and stare at it, wondering how something as simple as asking for help could feel so impossible. I knew I needed rehab. I knew I couldn't keep going like this. But the system wasn't built for someone who was already falling apart. It required focus, patience, and persistence, the very things I no longer had. By the end of the day, all I could do was lie back down and wait. Wait for the phone to ring again. Wait for something to change. Wait for a moment where the weight might lift, just enough for me to try one more time.